Ticci Toby X Female Listener Part 25. Jeff's point of view. I heard yelling. That's typical in this household. I listened closer to what was being said out of curiosity. I bet Ben would love to hear about this fight right now. I got out of bed and stepped over my dirty clothes that had been all over my floor. I pressed my ear to the door and listened. It sounded like two people, a male and a female. Their voices. Wait, is that Toby and Silver's voice? I whispered out loud, thinking to myself. I couldn't make out the words, but I could hear their tone. They both didn't seem to be too happy with each other. I suppose I can ask Toby what happened later. But right now, I'm starved. I make my way downstairs to see mostly everybody was seated. Toby and Silver were in the other room. The only people that were gone is Lost Silver and YN. Where did they go? I smelled the dirt and pine smell as I opened my eyes, and I was greeted with the blinding sun peering through the trees. I looked around to see Lost Silver was on my shoulder. Once my senses came back, I could feel the pain in my shoulder. I'm real smart, aren't I? I let out a sigh and looked at the boy resting peacefully. I shook his shoulder a bit, and he finally woke up too. He looked up at me with a smile and sat up. Maskey's point of view. Where is that YN? Also, will Toby shut up for dang once? He's annoying the crap out of me. I left after eating breakfast with only one goal in mind, to break YN. I searched around the forest, knowing nobody here can really go into town. Then I finally found YN after searching for a few hours. This forest is surely big, all right. I approached both of them where they sat under a tree. Hey, YN, I called out on approaching them. This immediately caught YN's attention. Can I borrow Lost Silver for a bit? I asked YN, even though I didn't feel like I need to ask her whether I can or can't. Yeah, I don't see why you can't, although it's up to Lost Silver, she replied and turned to Lost Silver. He smiled a little and piped up, Yeah, I'd like to go with you for a bit, Maskey. Then with that, I walked away with Lost Silver floating behind me. The walk to the mansion was quiet and quicker because I knew where the mansion is. When we arrived, I took Lost Silver to my room. Maskey, what are we going to be doing in your room? Lost Silver asked me shyly. I didn't want to ruin the surprise for him, so I didn't answer him. I opened my old oak door to reveal Lyra was standing there, ponytails and all. But what are you doing here, Lyra? He had a bit of a sad and mad tone to his voice. I came to see my love, of course, Lyra chirped. I think I'll leave you two alone. Bye. And with that, I shut the door behind me, grinning at what I know is to come. Jeff's point of view. When I finished breakfast, I decided that YN would show up on her own, so I played video games with Ben out in the living room until I heard the door open. I pressed pause to the game, which seemed to annoy Ben, but he can wait. I approached YN and I tried to make a friendly smile, but I don't think but I think that's out of the question with my face. Hey, YN, have fun last night? I asked her, trying to embarrass her a bit for fun. She turned red and looked away from me. Ooh, I knew something happened last night. Come on, tell me. I pressed on, trying to get YN to tell me the juicy details. Nothing much. I just kissed Lost Silver, she said, as she looked a little saddened by the sight of Toby walking in the room. I noticed this and wondered what that argument was earlier. Hey, Toby, I called out to get his attention. He looked glum. Though his mouth was covered by his mouth guard, his eyes told me he was frowning. I couldn't have him frowning. Frowning is for losers. Hey, Jeff, he spoke dejectedly. YN noticed his sorrow too. What happened in that argument this morning, Toby? I asked compassionately. Maskey's point of view. I left those two lovebirds in there to make up. Now to break YN the bad news, I plotted for her. I approached YN to see she was with Toby and Jeff. They all looked upset. Who cares anyway? All I'm focused on is breaking YN. YN, I have some terrible news to tell you. I spoke sympathetically, trying to make it sound legit. Now isn't the time, Maskey. Jeff snapped at me, which peeved me. It's important, you bird poop looking brat. I raised my voice at Jeff, losing my cool I tried to keep. They all looked at me silently. Jeff had anger in his eyes as he waited impatiently for me to say what I wanted to say. I came to tell you about how Lost Silver, well, I think you'd better see it for yourself. I say, she will hurt more if she sees the cheating in action. All right, YN says with a confused tone. Ben's point of view. I sat on this couch and nobody even cared I'm here. I'm literally here, waiting to resume my game. I expected Toby and Silver to break up honestly, but Maskey? I have a bad feeling of what's going on. YN's point of view. I followed Maskey through the long corridors until we reached his room. Maskey put one finger up to his mask to signify to be quiet. He opened the door slowly. Then there were two people kissing. A girl and Lost Silver. My Lost Silver was kissing somebody else and enjoying it. I thought he loved me and I thought that he... No, this can't be happening. Why? Why the hell did he do this? I stood there frozen as my eyes got hot and my vision beginning to blur, censoring out what I didn't want to see. My throat felt dry and my stomach clenched. I felt like screaming and punching that girl in the face. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I punch this girl? She took him from me, and that will be her punishment. My body felt numb and light. All I felt like doing is smashing that ugly face of her into a mirror. Over, and over again. I let go of all control. I let what I felt like I needed to do. I grabbed her dumb pigtails and drug her out of that room and smashed her face into the floorboards. Every time her face hit the floor, I felt better. Hearing her cries filled me with joy. It felt like a few seconds, but I felt somebody pulling on me. I looked down at my arms to see how much she scratched me up. I didn't feel any of it. I didn't feel anything at all. Not even the joy I felt a few moments before. What's wrong with me? My body felt light as this person pinned me to the ground by my back. I could hear all of their talking, but I couldn't make out any words. Finally, the lightness took over me. Then all there was is blackness. Sorry I haven't been posting as much. I haven't had as much motivation. And I would make more Gotcha Life videos, but unfortunately my phone broke. And I don't have money to replace it, so there probably won't be many Gotcha Life videos. Sorry about that.